Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? One love to the humble, one love to the humble, one love to the humble. Hey, one love to all the humble people out there. One love. Hey, I got a video that I want to make today, and it was something that I was thinking about. I've been thinking about this situation, right? And I'm gonna tell you about the story. I got a story I want to tell you about a personal situation, and I'm sure you can attest to something similar, or you may have seen something similar, or because I know I have, and you may have too, right? But before I get into this story about hiring black people, I want to say this first. Um, See, you got to think. There was a time in history when you do your research and you really look at Black history, not just the stuff they teach you about in the 30 days or 28 days of Black history in February, whatever the amount of days in that month is. And I'm not talking about that. I don't know what they're doing in schools today. I just know when I was in school, they was heavy on Martin Luther King, people like that. And nothing wrong with Martin Luther King. He did what he thought was necessary, which it really kind of put black people in a bad spot. But he did what he thought was best at the time. And when he realized what he was doing, it was already too late. It was done. But I want you to hear this. There was a time when you go back and do your research. There was a time in Black history where black people did not complain the way they do now. And but it's hard for people today to understand that because it's been romanticized. The stuff from the past has been romanticized, and they put feelings and emotions on things that doesn't have feelings and emotions. Like they take pictures of something, you don't know what it's from, you don't know the context of the photo, you don't know what it is. They show you an image, and then they put words on top of that image to strike an emotion in you, and you connect whatever that word is they put over that image to being real. Because your mind is a powerful thing. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's not real. It treats everything the very same. It treats it as if it's real, really happening, even if it's not. That's where your subconscious mind works. The people who understand how the mind works know how to do this and know how to make this stuff happen to people. If I took a picture from a time period where I already convinced you and made you struck an emotion in you about certain times, situations, and what was going on, even if you wasn't there, you're gonna connect with it as if you were there, because your subconscious mind, it passed right through your conscious, right to your subconscious, and then now you have these feelings of something that you never experienced before, but it's like you have experienced it. And that's one of the problems today that black people have with the past. I am by no means saying that slavery and all those things that happened back then were good, but to take a small group of people that was doing wrong and make that blanket that over all of the people of that race, it's kind of not a good thing to do. Because if we want to get technical about how this all began with slavery and all that, it was some people would be really shocked at what they might find or how this thing really got started. But I'm not getting into that with this video here. I'm just going to get into something else. But let me finish what I'm saying. So look, if you take a person, if you want to control people, there's a method. There's a particular method that you can go through to get control over people. Because see, black people used to be not controlled. We wasn't under no umbrella. We didn't have leaders. We didn't have none of that. All that stuff came about around about the civil rights time frame. During them years, like maybe 5 to 10, maybe, I don't have the exactly, I don't have it in front of me, the exact numbers, but maybe like 5 to 10 years before, during, and maybe after, is when black people started falling up on this leadership thing, where other black people were claiming to be over the black race. That's when it happened. But prior to that, black people didn't have no leaders that we looked up to. Each individual black person was responsible for themselves. They wasn't pretending to be like we need leaders. Like you hear black people today saying, we need leaders. They looked at certain other black people as leaders. A person who has a leader does not think for themselves. If a person is leading you, you don't think for yourself. You have no thought if you have a leader. Only people that's free mentally is the people who don't have a leader or somebody you following. Like when I say following, I'm not talking about social media following. I'm talking about, you know what I mean when I say a leader, having a leader. Now you can listen to people and take some advice from people. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about straight up leaders. Having a leader telling you what to think. That's what I'm talking about. Where you see something that doesn't pass a common sense test, but you ignore it because this leader over here told you otherwise, so you follow that instead. And if I can convince you that what I'm saying is what it is, you will start to see that thing. Just like if you got a brand new Cadillac and you never seen no Cadillacs before, but once you got it, now you can't stop seeing them because it got imprinted in your mind. Now you can't stop seeing them. They was always around you, but now I got you to key in on that thing, and now you can't stop seeing it. That's how it works with everything in life. If I can convince you to see something that may not even be true, but if I can make you believe it, you'll start seeing it even if it ain't there. You'll make it be there. That's what leaders do to the people that's following them. For example, you know what? No, I'm not going to get into that because this is going to derail my conversation. So, to control the people, you first have to get them all under one umbrella. Once you get them under that umbrella, you got to get all of their minds on the same wavelength. You get all their minds on the same frequency, and then you create an enemy. You give them an enemy. You give them somebody to hate. And once you can complete all those two things, you can now get them people to do whatever you want them to do, believe whatever you say, and follow you no matter what. That's how you can. That's one way you can get that done. Problem, reaction, solution. You create a problem, it's going to be a reaction, and then you give them a solution. And the whole time, you don't want to create the whole problem. And then they come to you for the solution also. That's what black race hustlers do, these black so-called leaders. And I'm saying that to get into the fact that right there is the reason why it's hard to tell a black person to free themselves. And they think that they are already free. And they think people like me, like I'm the one who's not free because of what I'm saying. That's the trickery of it. They can't even see that they're not free. Yeah, they don't have no chains on, but they're not free in their mind. Because they're following these leaders that's programming them to continue to be at the bottom. This programming is going to continue to be at the bottom. They're blaming it on white people. It ain't white people doing this. That's another trick. It's a trick. And the black race hustlers are running a game. And the black people that's in that loop can't see it. They just can't see it. They don't understand it. They think me on the outside who freed myself, because I used to be in that mental change too. I used to be right up in the same spot. But then I freed myself, and then I started looking back and seeing what was going on. And I'm trying to show everybody else what it is. Now, it's harsh what I may say, and the way I may come off may be harsh. And it may rub people the wrong way. But it's only because they can't see it no other way. And then they still get upset. But all of that conditioning has made black people entitled. Made them feel very entitled. So if something don't happen to them, they don't understand why it's not happening for me. Why I ain't getting this. I'm supposed to get this, this, and this. And then what the black leadership has told them is, they doing it to you because you're black. It's only because you're black. No other reason, it's just because you're black. Imagine that right there. You already created a problem, and you created an enemy for them, and then you tell them that enemy is the reason why you are going through what you're going through. They put you through this. And what they're supposed to do is guilt the other race to give them what they want. And that's been working for a long time. They've been guilting them into giving them things they don't qualify for. That's what's been going on. So now that they've been seeing all these things happen, getting all this stuff that they ain't qualified for, and as soon as you tell them no, oh, it's somebody's racist over there that's doing this to me. It's a racist person doing this to me. I'm supposed to get this job. I'm supposed to get in this school. I'm supposed to get all these things. They racist towards me because I got pulled over for speeding, or because I didn't get this accepted into this prestigious college, or I went to this job interview and they didn't hire me. But I know I'm qualified. I'm more qualified than anybody in there. or I didn't get this home loan, or I didn't get this personal loan. They racist. Imagine that. Everybody has been convinced that as soon as something don't happen for them, it's because they're racist. Let me tell you something. The black race is doomed. There ain't no recovery from this, because this thing keeps getting repeated over and over and over again to every generation that come through. Then there's gonna be some that's gonna break away from it, right? There's gonna be a few that's gonna break off and go on and say, I'm not listening to that nonsense, and go off and be great. But then the other ones are gonna keep the cycle going. This stuff started around about the civil rights time frame. This entitlement and this white people are doing this to me. That's where they started. And it ain't gonna ever stop. Black people are going down into the gutter, into the bottom of the bottom with this mentality. And if you don't have the mentality, then something's wrong with you. That's what they say to you. Because you don't got the shackles on your mind, they tell you that something's wrong with you. I'm sorry, I know it took a long time before I know what you came here to hear, and I haven't been talking about that, but I had to say that first. I said, if you black and you listening to this, and you watching this, I suggest you break away and start really looking at things for what they are. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's holding you back. You're not entitled to nothing. You're entitled for what you earn and what you work for. And if you go somewhere and you're not getting the results you want, stop crying. You don't beg and cry. You go out and create your own. Nobody has to give you anything. Nobody has to hire you anywhere. They don't have to do it. And to go in there and force somebody to do something, it's crazy. If somebody came to your house and open your door and say, hey, I'm going to move this furniture over here because I don't like it sitting right here, that ain't your house. You can't come in there and tell somebody what to do in their house. But that's what we're doing to them. We want them to change the rules and do whatever. They make them do what we want them to do. They don't have to. You can very well go out here and create your own if you wanted to. But let me get to this, the reason why we here. The reason why you clicked on this video. And I am sorry that I went off on that tangent, but I had to say that first. And by the way, go ahead and click like and subscribe to the channel, man. Go ahead and do that for me. I'm almost at like 700 people. It's a hard 700 to get. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's been a hard 700, but it's okay. You know, I take the slow route. I ain't in no rush. I know I'm not saying nothing exciting and nothing that's gonna make people feel good, so I'm not gonna get all that, those quick subs and all that. But if you can give me like 5 or 6 of y'all can join, that'll be cool with me. No harm, no foul. But let me get to what I was saying. So they told me, they said, yo, this is when I was like really into the blackness, right? I was really into the blackness. And so, you know, people saying, man, you need to hire your people, man. Hire your black people. That's when I was really into all the groups and all the black groups on Facebook and social media. You know, like I said before, my other videos, I'm doing all this black stuff. Oh, speaking of that, I got another thing to tell you about this event that I did and the things I was doing for the kids and how all that went bad. But look, anyway, to this story, I'm doing all this. I'm into all of that. So, and I got a business. I own a company, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I put the ad out that I'm hiring people, and I had a lot of people come in. I had to interview them. So I'm talking about these 2 black guys in particular. But for this video, I'm only gonna talk about one. I'll tell you about the other one another time. So this one guy, I hired the guy, and so you know he was older than me. This man was like in his 50s, and he lived at home with his mom, everything. You know how it go. In our community, we got that. He had no driver's license. He had nothing, and so so I noticed that the first day on the job after I hired him, I just hired him, and I noticed that the first day he came to work, his mom had brought him to work. Now he 50 something, so his mom got to be like 70, 80. So she brought him to work, and I'm like, yo, I can't have that. I can't let him have this woman getting up early morning because there's gonna be some early mornings and late nights. I can't have him. I can't have her up bringing him in to work. every day and picking them up in the evening and stuff like that. So I was like, look, man, how about this? I'll start, tell your mom don't worry about getting up in the mornings. I'll come pick you up myself and bring you in. Because, I'm looking out for how you say, come on, man, look out for a brother, man. Look out for a brother. You know how that go, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm looking out for a brother. That's what you're supposed to do, right? Look out for your people, man. That's what they tell you, right? Hire your people, man. That's what they tell you. So I did that. If I only knew what was coming ahead, I would have never did that. But that's a lesson learned, because it didn't happen just once. It happened multiple times. I kept giving these opportunities. Anyway, so I pick them up, take them to work, drop them off. I'm treating them like, I'm treating them real well. Don't gotta worry about nothing. I'm picking him up. I'm driving to his house, pick him up, go work all day, bring him back home in the evening time. Now, I'm not gonna give you a whole every little detail, but I'm gonna give you some points in this whole process. So everything was going good at first, and so then one day, because what I used to do, I had direct deposit used to hit Friday morning, so I had to put all the hours in on Thursday night, and then that way they get their direct deposit Friday morning. Because the way I did my weeks was Friday was like Monday, and then it was Friday, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like that. So Friday was like Monday, then Monday was like Tuesday. You get the point. So they would get the direct deposit put in. The hours would go in Thursday night, and then they would get a check deposited into their account on Friday morning. Friday morning come around, I go to pick him up. He calling me on the phone. Hey man, I ain't at home right now. I'm on the way home. I'm on the way. You're on the way. So I'm like, yo, why is he not at home? And we gotta go to work. I mean, not that he has to be. I'm not his parent, but I'm saying I'm coming to pick you up. To pick you up. You know what time we start work. I'm coming to get you, and you're not ready. I look. He's coming, walking down the street. He's walking down the street, and I'm like, yo, man, what's going on? This was the first time, so I ain't take it. I was like, all right, whatever. I ain't gonna even trip. I'm gonna let it slide. So we get in, we go to work. Come back, saying, the routine. All right, man, good day. See you on Monday. Another good 2 weeks go by. Time for payday again. Payday hits. Same thing. Thursday night, I drop the deposit. Friday morning, the check in the bank. I go to pick him up. Nowhere to be found. I call his phone, no answer. I'm like, yo, we got a workload today, and one person out is a big deal. It's a big deal to have one person not there, and especially somebody you going out your way to go pick up for work and drop them off for work. And they don't have to do nothing but be ready, and they're not ready. They're not ready. So he called me on the weekend, gave me this story about what happened and all this and that. What I do? Give him another chance. Give him another opportunity to screw me again. So it's time. I'm still treating him good, because I'm in the mindset, yo, it's a black man. It's a black man. I gotta look out for him. This, that, and third. So then, if I get food, I'm buying everybody food. Anybody gonna? If you with me, and you working for me, and we go out, and we gotta get lunch. It's on me. I'm paying for everything, and I'm paying you top dollar as far as your paycheck goes. And if whatever you need throughout the day, I lend you money. I'll buy you cigarettes. I don't smoke, but I buy you cigarettes. I'll do all that kind of stuff. And I don't even be tripping about getting it back. I'll be like, oh, I'm going to take it out your check. I will never take it out the check. Never. Because, I'm looking out for my brother, man. I'm looking out for, look out for your peoples, man. Look out for your peoples. That's what I'm doing. And the more and more I was looking out for my people, the more and more they were screwing me over. The more and more they was using me. The more and more they was taking it for granted. No, not white guys. Not the white guys. The black guys. They were entitled. I'm supposed to do that for them. I'm supposed to put myself in a bad situation for them. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to lose my whole business looking out for them. That's what I'm supposed to do. Because if I don't, then I'm a race. I'm an Uncle Tom. I'm all these things that you can think of. That's what I become if I don't look out for them. right? So this is going on and on. It's getting bad now. Now these missing days of work is starting to happen more. Call me to tell me you're not coming to work so I don't have to go drive over there. But that don't ever happen. I gotta drive over there to find out that you ain't gonna be at work. I don't care if I call. I don't care what happens. I'm not gonna get a call. I'm just gonna have to show up and find out what it is. This was going on constantly. I'm doing everything. I'm lending you money. You get paid every 2 weeks. You take your paycheck and you do whatever you do on the weekends with it. You come back Monday, you broke. I'm looking out for you through the week. Then you get a couple $10 here, $20 here, all of that. Looking out for my peoples, right? But he ain't never ready to go to work, even though I drive over there to pick him up. That's one thing I hate. Don't waste my time. So you get to the point where I'm mad now because I take this personal. This business and personal. I'm combining the two together. Yes. We about to get into a fight. We both in the same uniform. They don't know, people outside don't know what's going on. But me and him dressed in the same uniform and we about to fight. They're like two employees who it look like. Even though I'm the owner, I don't wear like I'm the owner. I wear the same uniform as everybody else. So if you saw us out, you wouldn't know I was the owner because that's not how I don't move like that. I like to look just like everybody else. I'm not going to separate myself in that way. It's not me. My uniform looks just like theirs. No distinction. But here we are arguing, fussing out in the public over this situation about not being at work. We about to come to blow. We about to come to D's right here. That's when I knew then that this is going too far. I had to fire him. Not only that, when I fired him, he went and tried to file for unemployment. But of course it's not going to go through because I got all of the dates that you wasn't at work. And I'm going to tell them about that. Because if you don't know if you own a business, somebody filed unemployment, you get this, they're going to send you, the unemployment people email you these documents from that person saying they are filing for unemployment. And you can stop it as an employer. So if you got all your documents in a row, you got all the times they was missing and what they did, they got places on that form that you can put that in. And I sure put it in. Ain't no more looking out for my brother. I'm stopping this because you took advantage of the situation. So my fault too, because I shouldn't have been looking out for my brother, as they say. I shouldn't have been doing that, but that's what I did. And I put it in, I got it stopped. He didn't get it. That's not necessary to come to that. I'm not into that. I don't care about hiring blacks because black people, a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them are entitled. They think you owe them something, and especially if you're black, they think you owe them something. I ain't worried about white people using me. I worry about black people. Them the ones. If anybody gonna get me, it's gonna be them. I done worked with a lot of white people. I done hired a lot of white people. I ain't never had this problem. I only had this problem with people with skin color like this. But yet, these are the people always pointing the finger at somebody else. When the whole time, they the problem. Because they entitled. And these black leaders keep telling them they're entitled. Keep making them believe somebody owe them something. You only owe what you work for. Nobody don't owe you nothing. Not one of you who watched this video was a slave. Not one of you was a slave. You don't, what you give you what for what? You ain't done anything. Imagine your great granddad had a job at this plant and you went in there and said, hey, I need y'all to start paying me the salary that he was getting when he was working here. They're gonna look at you like you crazy. That don't make no sense. You didn't work here a day. Why would I give you anything? You wasn't a part of this. That's what it sounds like when we asking for something we had nothing to do with. And don't give me that's why we in this position. That ain't true. Because prior to the civil rights movement, black people were thriving. We're thriving real well with what we had then. We was thriving. Wasn't none of this what's going on today. So don't give me that's why we in this position crap. And we in this position because we don't want to do nothing. We feel entitled and we lazy because they give us everything we want. They giving it to us in some shape, form, or fashion. So that what happens when you keep giving somebody something, they become dependent on you. And when they become dependent, they never ever grow up fully and be dependent on themselves. They're always looking around for who got the next thing that they can give me. That's what these programs are doing. Giving black people all these programs is the worst thing could happen. It's the worst thing could happen. Because they never going to get off of them. They become dependent on it. They don't know how to do for themselves. If you take a bird or you take any animal that's supposed to be out there in the jungle hunting, and you keep feeding it, it loses its ability and instinct to go hunt. Now it's going to depend on you. And then if you stop giving it something, now everybody's doing it wrong. It will die because it becomes so dependent and it don't know how to go out here and create nothing. So it blame everybody else for why they can't get something. That's what happens. So don't give me this whole thing that y'all be coming at me with. Because you know just like I know what the problem is. If that person that looked like me decided to get out there and do something, they can have everything. They wouldn't have to ask nobody for anything. They wouldn't have to blame nobody for anything if they was doing what's right. Now granted, there are some people that's gonna always be happening no matter what. But for the most part, if you're doing what's right, good things happen. Ain't nobody taking nothing from you. Ain't nothing to take from you. You don't got nothing. So just keep that in mind, man. And y'all take care of yourselves out there. Stop being a victim. Go out here and get yours. Build something for yourself. Being a victim is not worth it. You're not gonna get anything. You're never gonna have anything with that mindset. And break away from this group thinking that all these black people think. Break away from it. Stop thinking for your own self and doing for your own self. Put your own mind. Use your own mind. Stop this group thinking and following everybody else. You ain't gonna get nowhere, man. You gonna go to the same place they going. To the bottom. Y'all take care.